2, 1. Welcome YouTube. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Join me for coffee and receipts this morning as we do a continuation of last night's live into who owns the land that La Abuelita is colonizing. Before we get started, I'm streaming simultaneously on TikTok and YouTube. If you're watching on TikTok and you want to switch over, drop into the chat for me, drop a comment, let me know that you're here. Thank you to all of you that have subscribed to my channel. I am really enjoying these lives, and I think we've all gotten used to streaming on YouTube, so thank you. Also, I'm going to pin a comment in my YouTube chat for those of you that would like to join my membership or support this ongoing series with Chisme Bugs memberships. Thank you so much for being here. Hold on a second. Where's my link? I should have had this ready. I'm here for the chisme. Aren't we all? If you missed last night's live, it is available for replay with timestamps, so you can see what you missed or all that good stuff, right? So really quick. Good morning. I love to see you guys all pouring in here. Join our memberships. All right, there's a link if you would like to join our memberships. I will be dropping a giveaway for all tiers in the next week or so. So I've ordered my coffee. I'm waiting for my coffee and breakfast. I'm going to have it here with you guys. I hope you don't mind. Okay, so last night, after my live, mind you, I drank a macchiato late at night, so my head was going still when I try to get to bed. And I did some further research into the town, and as a quick summary, yesterday we did a town reveal of where she lives, and we went through the Facebook government page to see the necessities of the town, what the infrastructure looks like, what the schools actually need. And I was thinking a lot about the town. And I want to show you guys what I found, okay? The reason why this live is titled Who Owns the Land is because I found some things here in Mexico that we could actually research together today, okay? So number one, let's see. So really quick, for those of you that missed it, this is where Miss Smith is currently colonizing, okay? And did you guys know that, well, you didn't know because I didn't know until last night, but Atzicintla is actually un pueblo originario. What does that mean? It is one of the original towns, meaning they were here before the settlers. They were here before the Spanish colonized us. Okay, they are 100% indigenous. They have indigenous history and roots embedded into that town. Belinda, good morning, and thank you so much for starting us out strong with some chisme bucks. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And y'all are going to get me going bright and early. Thank you for supporting the series and my YouTube channel. I've been meaning to ask, how do you turn your brain off from all this when you're just living life? Because all this lives rent free in my mind all day. Sometimes it doesn't. That's why it keeps going. And that's why I find more stuff. I'm like, oh, I got to report back to the girls. So let's do some research on the town, okay? I want to give you guys a history of this town so you guys can understand the severity of what we're working with. And I was just chat GPTing some stuff. I was asking it some questions, okay? Es un pueblo originario. So I'm going to give you a quick history lesson to the town that she lives in, okay? Atzicintla es un pueblo originario. It's an original town, meaning they were here before we were all here. They were here before the Spanish colonized us. They were here before the white people got here, okay? It means they have indigenous roots. It means they have an indigenous history. And they're tienen origen prehispánico. All right, translate to English. I have a hard time translating what I'm reading into English. So it's an indigenous original town in a cultural and historical sense. Their native language is Nautal. Nautal. I'm not very good at pronouncing these names because I myself have not had enough education into the history of Mexico when it comes to this, okay? So they by every means in the dictionary, are indigenous. In addition to that, they are un pueblo ejidatario. Okay, so it preserves traditions, customs, and forms of community organization inherited from those indigenous people. Important nuance, although it remains a municipal with indigenous heritage, not all inhabitants formally identify as an indigenous community, nor does everyone speak an indigenous language. However, this does not take away from its character as a town with indigenous origins. Now okay, thank you. The reason why English is not part of their curriculum. Ask yourselves now why, when Candace told you that the kindergarten doesn't have an English teacher. Ask yourself why. Because this town's priority is likely the preservation of indigenous roots instead of the colonization of English and Spanish, right? That is important to me, because when we're talking about how much of a favor she's doing the school, and has Candace ever considered that perhaps the reason why Spanish is not part, or why English is not part of the curriculum in kindergarten is because of something? Has nothing to do with budget cuts. It's preserving culture. And in fact, our current president has put a large emphasis on acknowledging the indigenous communities. If you guys have ever been keeping up with Claudia Sheinbaum and her press conference and what she's done through her presidency, she has given a large spotlight, a lot of resources, a lot of public attention to the indigenous roots of our country. And even so, I saw something, I need to go back and to confirm, but they were trying to reincorporate the indigenous language as part of the curriculum in schools instead of English, right? Why? Because, I don't even know that I need to spell this out, but hello, our president acknowledges that these towns, these people have been systematically and historically oppressed by the Spaniards, even currently by some communities. You know what I'm saying? So Candace coming into that town and being like, oh, I'm doing them a favor, but I'm teaching them Easter, I'm teaching them Thanksgiving, I'm teaching them Halloween, I'm teaching them English. She's doing a disservice, because this town, their priority is preserving the culture. Can we all collectively agree that indigenous towns like that, reservations, in whatever country you are, the goal is to preserve the culture, and it gets lost in time. The language gets lost, the cultures get lost, the customs get lost. Why do they get lost? Because they start to be replaced by modern day bullshit like Easter, Halloween, all that. You see what I'm saying? So is she doing us a service? Bestie, thank you so much for the bear. No, absolutely not. And when I found this yesterday, that her town es un pueblo originario, that's a huge deal. Ooh, el tacuache hat. Thank you, Annabelle. I don't even know that I'm accurately explaining how big of a deal it is, what that town, what her presence symbolizes for a town that small, with roots that deep. And we should be preserving the culture, right? Not applauding the modern day colonization of a foreigner coming in and teaching their children English. Now, there was something else that I found. Julia schools in Fitzintla teach English. Okay, so in public schools, elementary through high school, English is part of the official curriculum. So students, but pay attention. Elementary through high school, not kindergarten. There's a reason why kindergarten hasn't adapted that into their curriculum. Ask yourselves why. Yes, trying to replace the local traditions. And makes sense. Are you teaching Andalesov? No, I don't even know it. I'm also so disconnected. How could I teach it or learn it if I don't even know? I personally also have a lot of disconnect from the history, the roots, the customs, and the traditions, which is why I'm calling it out. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to preserve it in the areas that it still exists, right? There's no need for people in a tiny town like that to speak English, in my personal opinion. Or to be celebrating fucking Easter or Halloween or fucking Thanksgiving. Yeah. Okay. So the next thing that I found is shifting back to the land. There is a public national registry for tierras ejidatarias, where you can confirm if the land belongs to the community or it now belongs to a private individual. Se llama el Registro Nacional, Registro Agrario Nacional. Okay, this is where all esas tierras ejidatarias are publicly registered. So in the event somebody's trying to sell you a piece of land, you can go and confirm if that piece of land is if you're going to be able to escriturarla, if it's available for public purchase, or if it still belongs to the community, right? There's a way to, and I didn't get too deep into it last night, but if we can obtain the exact coordinates of where she lives, of where her house is, I can try to plug them into this database to see if the land is still registered to the community or if it's not registered to a private individual. I don't think it'll tell us who it's registered to, but it will tell us if it's still owned by the community, which I think will be a really important piece of this puzzle. So first things first, I need to get her coordinates. Right here. Right, so I have a Google image. I wasn't able to get the coordinates on my phone last night, but it told me to do it on the computer. So I'm going to see if I can get her coordinates. Yeah, right here. Right here. Got him. Got him. All right, how do I copy them? So now I haven't played with this registry yet. So you're going to see some of this real time. Are you using your mic? Volume is low on this side. I just scooted it up. Let me know if this is better. Then you should only speak Spanish in PV. Spanish is also a colonizer language. Also, I'm in my office. When I'm outside, I speak Spanish. I always find it interesting that people, they're like, why don't you speak Spanish? I do speak Spanish. But when I create my content in my little office, this is my private home, I speak English because my audience is US based. I speak Spanish when I'm in school. I speak Spanish when I'm outside. I speak Spanish when I'm among other Mexicans, when I'm at the restaurants, when I take my kids anywhere. We speak Spanish. But here in my office, I'm free to speak English. Okay, let me go back to this registry and see where can I confirm. Why are so many haters? The closer we get to the truth, the more mad people get. A ver. ChatGPT. Puedo verificar si una tierra ejidataria puede ser escriturada. Registro Agrario Nacional es el lugar principal. Si la persona está certificada, quién es el titular y si ya pasó dominio pleno. Puedes ir a una delegación estatal o revisar en línea si tienes datos de la parcel o elegido. Ok. Verifica en el RAM. Enséñame cómo verificar en línea. Consulta RAM, busca consulto de núcleos o agrarios. A ver, consulta de núcleos agrarios. I'm going to show, sorry, I'm going to put this up for you guys to see. A ver, consulta. No. I'm new to this site, so bear with me. When a land is ejido, you can get a escritura. You cannot get an escritura because the land belongs to the community, unless it has gone through the process of se llama dominio pleno. There is a way for part of that land to become public, but it would be registered here if it belongs to somebody privately. RAN, Servicios Públicos de Información, Estadística Agraria, Sistema de Información, consulta de nuevo sobre el estatus de tu trámite. But it is a long process and it's expensive, and it would be highly unlikely in a town that small, in my personal opinion, that somebody had done it. That's what's leading me to want to check. If anybody has done this before, feel free to point us in the right direction. This is my first time on the site, and it's crazy because we've actually been studying about this in class. A ver. Padrón o historial de núcleos agrarios. Consulta más, consulta pública de RAN. Pasos institucional, busca en la sección consulta de núcleos agrarios. This is why she didn't want you to know her address. She knew you would discover this about the land. Well, let's not jump ahead. Servicios públicos de información. Ah, aquí, FINA. Show details. Visit website. Busca. Okay, so look, this is a site. Se llama FINA, where you can search up tierras ejidatarias. It's my first time here, so we're learning together. Busca núcleos agrarios, localiza propiedad social, selecciona ejidos o comunidades. All right, we're gonna try busca núcleos. Do I have to make I gotta make an account, so please hold. Don't forget to like the live, besties. What website is el Registro Agrario Nacional? You'll be able to see it on my YouTube if you want to head over there. Nombre de usuario, sí, propósito, público en general. And just as a disclosure, these are public records, okay? These are public Mexican records. So a lot of the records that we've reviewed are from the US, right? But we are now officially diving into Mexican public records. All right, I just made an account and I'm waiting for a confirmation. Okay, just got my login. Alright, let me do this again. What's my password? Okay, I'm now logged in. We're gonna do a search. Entidad. Oh, so exciting. Okay, hold on. I'm nervous. Hold on. What am I gonna find? Candelaria? Okay, you're gonna see. Okay, what am I gonna find? Entidad. She lives in Puebla. Municipio. I think it's Atzicintla, número. Buscar. We don't have número de núcleo agrario. Okay, so now el núcleo Santa Cruz Chuyachapa is gonna be. I'm guessing this is her. Come in.
Did you get anything from Starbucks?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Hot coffee. It's not in there?
Nope.
Don't tell me that. All right, let me look at my orders. Orders. I also got a bagel.
A bagel, I'm pretty sure might be in there, but I don't think your drink is.
Yeah, caramel macchiato, venti light, hot. Megan, it's missing? Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
What is my bagel missing too?
Let me go check. Because your bagel link.
Sorry guys. Okay, so it just popped up. Datos generales. Sulema, welcome to YouTube Besties. Thank you so much for joining our memberships. I hope you enjoy all the perks. Yes, I need. Sorry guys, quick hold. We're missing my coffee, so I'm gonna have to reorder it. And I gotta. Is everything else there?
Yeah.
Just not my drink. Okay. I'm gonna reorder it. Can you keep an eye out when it gets here, please? Thank you. We need a macchiato. Okay, núcleo agrario. Missing the whole item. So this is giving us general information about, I think, el colectivo, like the entire area. But I want a specific consulta, búsqueda, geoespacial, which is geo with coordinates, I think with coordinates. What I missed. We're searching for the land, the White House. Entidad, Puebla. Atzicintla. Is it ejido or comunidad? Let's do comunidad. Consultar. Núcleo. Busca geoespecial. Okay. So I'm doing a geo search. Hold on, guys. I'm new to this, okay? I've never done this before. We need a malcriado. Is she including the ballroom? I need to, should I ask my professor how, a ver, navegar, dibujar, borrar, buscar. Búsqueda por, let me type in the geo coordinates. 2 seconds. Hold on, guys. Let me, okay, let me go order, sorry, I gotta reorder my coffee, okay? Sorry, guys. Macchiato. I can't believe they... I really need my coffee. Okay. Can I get the link? My parents have terrenos and they're here. Sure. Look, I'm going to drop the link into the chat right now for those of you that could... that wanna, yeah. Consulta. Oh, that gives you the link to the geo search, but that's the link, the fina.ran.gov.mex. Okay, so what are we doing here? Búsqueda, datos abiertos, documentación, núcleos agrarios certificados. A ver. Aquí dice, ingresa algunos de los datos, nombre de ejido, estado, municipio, revisa la información que aparece, tipo de núcleo, superficie, estatus legal. Look, this right here is where, this is also the link. Look, see, we're teaching, we're learning. For those of you, why are you doing this? We're learning. Okay. Búsqueda por nombre. Let me try. Ejido. What's the name of the ejido? All right, let me do a Google search. Let me ask. Esta es este parcel. ¿En qué ejido está este parcel? Let me see if it tells me the name of the ejido. Estas coordenadas están ubicadas en la zona de Tehuacán, Puebla. Están muy cerca de la localidad de San Diego, Chalma y Santa María, Coyapán. ¿En qué ejido está exactamente? Solo los coordinadores no se pueden garantizar 100%. Con esa población muy probable que es ejido Santa María. Okay, so there's 3 different ejidos that she could be part of. ¿Cómo confirmar la certeza? Ok, entra a RAN, busca algo como visor geográfico. Ok, visor, consulta, geoespacial. Entidad, Puebla. Municipio. Let me see if Santa Cruz pops up here. No. My show is on Do Not Disturb. Okay. Guys, I'm sorry. Some of this might seem boring. I'm doing live research. Tipo de núcleo, tal vez es ejido. So look, here is a geomap. Atzicintla. Her house is like over here. Chisme. Dibujar, navegar. Buscar. Tipo de núcleo. Estoy buscando comunidad. I'm ready to fight for my terrenos. I don't know, guys. I think I'm gonna have to do some research of this off camera. I don't want to entertain too long. Are you entertained? Okay, I feel bad that I'm researching live and you guys are just kind of like waiting. Let's look at some of these. Okay, even the other ones. Documentación. A ver, un manual de usuario. Please. Acerca de inicio. Selecciona ejidos o comunidades. Ugh, hold on, I gotta log back in. Live research. I might have to take this to class. Keep researching, estamos aprendiendo. Okay, so look, you log into the site, you create an account, it's very easy, and then I'm doing a search. Núcleos agrarios, it's like the lands, the piece of lands, right? I'm gonna try searching for ejidos o comunidades. Oh. So this is where you could do a search of un ejidatario. Let's see if we can find Videl. But would he be un ejidatario de Atzicintla? Ejido. Clave única, estado. Tipo, nombre actual. Why can't I type in? Okay, no. Una búsqueda. Kenny said make Atzicintla great again. I don't think he qualifies to be under one. What are the qualifications? I'm missing something here. Okay. Ir al mapa de RAN, entra, busca como visor geográfico, usa un mapa satelital y ubica las coordenadas. Activa la capa de núcleos agrarios. La segunda opción es ir al RAN de la oficina. The other option is going to the office in Puebla, taking the coordinates, and they would be able to tell you. And they will be able to tell you who it's registered to, if it's private property or if it's community property. Si quieres, puedo hacer algo. Ok. Ubica el punto exacto. Sí, ubicaré el punto. Let's see what ChatGPT does for us. Okay, so these are the coordinates. Este punto cae al noreste de la ciudad de Tehuacán. Está muy cerca de la zona de San Diego Chalma. Es una franja donde todavía hay tierra ejidal mezclada con propiedad privada. El ejido más probable es ejido de San Diego Chalma. También está relativamente cerca de Santa María Coapán, pero es menos probable. ¿Qué hay en ese punto específicamente? Es zona semiurbana en expansión, parcelas que en muchos casos ya están certificadas, algunas ya pasaron a dominio pleno y otras siguen siendo ejidales. O sea, hay mezcla. Aunque esté en un ejido, parece que esa parcela se pueda estructurar, debe cumplir con ciertos. ¿Qué haría yo en tu lugar? Pide al vendedor, o con eso puedes verificar en RAN, confirma si ya tiene dominio pleno. Ayúdame a verificar en RAN. These are public records, so, well, maybe she could do what she did with the police report, but it's very unlikely. Municipio Tehuacán. Oh, I had the wrong one. Okay, so Puebla. She said Municipio is Tehuacán. Okay. El núcleo agrario prueba primero sobre San Diego Chalma. This is hard. I just noticed a thumbnail to this live. Oh, I didn't even update it. Hola, Besti, buenos días. I'm having a hard time on this site, you guys. Comunidad, núcleo agrario. A ver, ok. Estado Puebla, municipio Tehuacán. El núcleo agrario prueba primero el consejo, luego da clic en buscar. Núcleos agrarios. Ok, Puebla, municipio. How do you guys feel about the thumbnails? Tehuacán. Ubicar. Búsqueda. Okay. Let's try this again. Puebla. What is a good job to work over Mexico? Buscar. Okay. And then it said to try San Diego Chalma, which is here. Datos generales. Make this bigger. Paso 3, revisar resultados. Tipo ejido, si dice certificado, procede fanar, buena señal. Ok. This is so interesting. Are you sure? I'm nervous. Okay, clasificación ninguna. So this is the ejido that ChatGPT said her property is in. Clave única. Clasificación ninguna. Acciones 8. Oh, shit. Do you guys see this right here? Expropiación means the government took it Dominio pleno means when it's private property and it's gone through the legal process where somebody can privately buy it, and it says none. Do you guys see this right here highlighted? So we just looked up her ejido. Based on the coordinates of the property that she's building, the ejido that popped up is San Diego Chalma. We did a search and it came up with Acción Agraria, which is like actions that have been taken inside that ejido. And here you can see expropiación means that the government took it, okay, for the good of the community. The government did something with it. Ampliación means they made it bigger. Expropiación, the government took it. Procede ninguna expropiación. And then dominio pleno is what it would need to be for a piece of property to have gone through the process of being able to become private property where it no longer belongs to the community and it can be sold as to a private individual. If I'm reading this right, it says none. None. There are no ningún promovente, nobody has petitioned in that community for un dominio pleno. Just probably smoking on her thing. My hubby inherited a home in Mexico City and it's intestada, no clue how to proceed. Yeah. Do you guys understand what this means? All right, let's search for otro ejido. Okay. Fecha de escritura. Fecha de publicación. Dotación. Oh, look. It gives details on each of them. Whoa, we're coming across. Okay, we're finding information. Expropiación. So it gives the case information for each thing. El dominio pleno ejidal es el procedimiento legalmente con una parcela. Yes. El dominio pleno means it's the legal process for which a piece of land would go through so that it can be declared public property that can be sold to an individual and it no longer belongs to the community. Okay. Based on this public record registry, what we're looking up, that particular ejido doesn't have any records of any pieces of land having gone through that process. Registered in 2002. It would be dumb of them to build and spend all the money people donated to them and build and spend on a house they didn't buy. Okay. The thing is, most people don't understand this. Most people do not understand the legalities of these pieces of land. Most don't. A lot of people think they own it if they get the certificate of use. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Buying property in a community like this, most people are uneducated about how it works, how to sell it, how to legally acquire it. Somebody like Candace would be fucking clueless. And somebody like Fidel that also hasn't grown up in Mexico probably also wouldn't know. The mom is the best case scenario. However, she also lives in a town with limited resources, limited education. So it's very common that these pieces of lands are sold but not done correctly. And people don't actually own the land. What they own is what they acquire is a right from that community to use the land. Okay. So that community moves kind of like an HOA. They have a specific set of laws only for them and their land, right? And so they have to, as an assembly, they have yearly meetings where they have to approve or deny things like this. If somebody comes forward and says, I want to buy this piece of land for myself, I want to take it from the community, disconnect it, the community has to agree for it to be sold off. Otherwise, they would have to petition for like a certificate of usage and they also have to agree. So understand that anything done in this land has to have been approved by that community. Sorry, guys. Checking on something. So, let's look for another Puebla Tehuacan. So, there's several ejidos within that area. There's Santa Maria Coapan, which ChatGPT said could possibly be that one as well. So, let's check that one. Okay, this is Santa Maria Coapan. Same thing. Dominio pleno, ninguna. No petition for dominio pleno. Meaning no property in that area has gone through the legalities to become private property. It's not looking good. Okay, there was 3 ejidos that it said it could possibly belong to. San Diego Chalma, we checked that one. Santa Maria Coapan, just check that one. Y Ejido Tehuacan. Let's check Ejido Tehuacan. Oh, there isn't one. I'm going to look up everyone at the rancho. It's fact people can't just take over a house or land. Yeah. Also, yes, I think it's important to note that this is in a very small town, so it's very culturally common that things like this aren't enforced. City checking in on certain things like this also, you know. I believe he's a Registro Agrario. It would be a ejidatario. I believe he's a registered... Oh, can you share it with us? Oh, whoever's needing my email. Here it is. So the other option would be going into the RAN locally, taking the coordinates, and just straight up asking, can you give me information on this piece of land? But from what I have found online through this search, I think it's a fair assumption. It's actually not even an assumption. Based on the records that we found, that land is still owned by the community. In a best case scenario, if they've gone through other proper channels that are available, they would be given a certificate of right to use the land, right to usage. But that doesn't mean that you own it. And at any point, the community can petition to have it back, even if you built a house on it. Well, it's unlikely, and unless there's some issues, we don't know. But yeah. Yes, buying land and getting everything done correctly, legally in an ejido is complicated work. It's why there's courthouses specifically assigned for these matters. Derecho Agrario, which is what it's called, is its own branch for things like this. It's what I've been studying for the last 2 quarters, actually, Derecho Agrario. So there's courthouses specifically for these matters. There's laws specifically for these pieces of land. It's a different process than regular real estate and purchasing private property anywhere else or real estate anywhere else. So building a house inside un ejido is a completely different process. It's complicated. It's long, and there can be a lot of legal issues towards the end if you haven't gone through the proper channels to legally acquire it. So, you need lots of money and lawyers. Well, we know that this is a family with unlimited resources. Oh, thank you, Bestie Ever. Where is this? Alright, I'm just going to airdrop this. Oh, Bestie, can you share? Where did you find this? This looks interesting. This is acuse, concepto de apoyo, paquete de maíz, superficie. Is this a government funded program? Would love to know where you got this, Bestie, so I can see what it is, what it means. So it looks like he's just registered as a local, like a local farmer. And if I'm not mistaken, look, this is what Bestie just sent in. It's a registry of some sort. And Fidel's name is on it right here. Paquete tecnológico maíz. Superficie, concepto de apoyo. This is a government assistance. Concepto de apoyo. This means this is a government issued help of some sort. Programa de apoyos a pequeños productores. That's really interesting. This is a welfare program for small farmers. Relación de productores solicitantes en el estado de Puebla que deberán acudir a los DDR para continuar con el proceso para la entrega de incentivos a partir del 4 de mayo de 2018. So in 2018, Fidel received government assistance under a small local farmers program. Right here, you can see his name, which is interesting because, well, I guess they'd been here for 2 years. Wait, 2018. Wait a minute. He was deported in 2016. So in 2018, he was still in Puebla? Oh, this just got interesting. Okay, well, for timeline purposes, Bestie, where did you find this? No, wait. I'm wrong. He got deported in 2016, so this was 2 years after his last deportation. She started YouTube 2020. Okay. All right, so maybe, okay, that makes sense. Programa de apoyos a pequeños productores. So it's government assistance for small farmers. Productores, how would you translate productores? Like farmers, right? So in 2008, Fidel received government assistance from the state of Puebla. So acuse means receipt. Municipio. Atzicintla. Producers. But that MBA. Yeah, interesting. Check other years. Yeah, Bestie, where did you find this? Can we check other years? Programa de incentivos para productores de maíz y frijol. These two sure do love themselves some government assistance. Agricultores is farmers. Productores, producers. So, agriculture producers, right? No, my coffee is supposed to be here. I think my coffee just got here. Hold on a second. Andre? Yeah. Can you grab my coffee? It's got a pin. 42.25. Please. I sent you the link in email. I Google his name. That's it. Right, the link you gave me is just a link to a Google spreadsheet. But I was wondering where you found that link. Google his name at 16th. Oh, okay. All right, let's do that real quick. Ah, I see. Okay, so Bessie did a Google search for his name and it came up with that link. May 4, 2018, Fidel Garcia Sanchez. So I like when you guys join me on this research because sometimes you guys find stuff that I don't. Thank you, buddy.
Oh, come on.
Really? They gave me 2 of them?
I think they realize that they messed up your order.
But they better only charge. I can't drink this 2 macchiatos.
Did they charge you for both of them though?
Well, no, because I reported to Uber that I didn't get one, so it refunded it to me, and then, oh yeah, look, uno de once. This was from the first order. Yeah. Well, guess we have a lot of coffee to kill today. You keep freezing on me. Ah. Okay, don't let you can drink too. Yeah, but not hot ones, not back to back. All right. Oh, this live is gonna be lit. No, but I'm not. This isn't gonna be that long of a live, guys, because I gotta go run some errands. I gotta go ship DHL. I gotta go run some papers to my attorney. Unfortunately, I have errands to run today. All right. I wonder what public records we could find on Fidel in Mexico. Dulce, welcome to YouTube Baddies. Thank you so much for joining my memberships. I hope you enjoy all the badges, stickers, and perks, and stay tuned for a giveaway next week. The plot thickens. So we've been on a deep dive of the land, the house, the legalities to the land. The first sip was always heaven. Yeah, and it's almost noon. I should have had this coffee way earlier. All right, so how are we feeling about the land? We've been researching, I don't know, I just feel I'm not satisfied with the search. I feel like the coordinates should give me a much better, more than I got. I feel like I just need to get more familiar with the site, but I'm not, nombre de núcleo agrario. Tehuacán. There is supposed to be a way to look for coordinates on here, and I feel like I'm not doing it right. Buscar. Búsqueda por nombre. What about búsqueda por núcleos agrarios? There's definitely homework to do. A ver. Navegar. Dibujar. A ver, Puebla. Where is... Well, there's Santa Cruz. By region. Búsqueda por nombre. A ver, esto Puebla. Atzicintla. What are the red lines is what I'm wondering. Right here. See, this lets me do an aerial view, but tu tipo núcleo ejido. 2 malqueados equals 8-hour life. Yeah, I'm not doing something right here, y'all. I might have to take this to my professor. Red lines on a map represent something. But what? There's no legend. Like, it just gives me a map of the place, but it doesn't give me... If what I'm... Padrón e histórico de núcleos agrarios. Estadísticos, núcleos agrarios certificados. Oh, but we haven't searched over here. Next month, all ejidatarios will be receiving 8,000 pesos for help on raising their crops. Remember, if he gets those funds, there's so many people that could need those 8,000 pesos. Are those 8,000 pesos from a government program? Or what are those 8,000 pesos for? Does everybody get them? Ejidos. I say ejidos. Okay. There's 6 ejidos in Acicintla. Catálogo de núcleos agrarios. Vivia, there's probably going to be a registry, just like we just saw earlier, of this registry. Can you link me somewhere to that program? I've tried. There's nowhere to search by coordinates. It's just search by name. Estructura de propiedad social, núcleos agrarios certificados, catálogo de núcleos. Estructura de propiedad social, actualizar. Used to be named Procampo en Michoacán. I think there's something I'm missing on this site. There's supposed to be a way to look up. Sumario. Poder ejecutivo. I don't know what all those files are kept in the folder from the president. Documentación, datos abiertos. Estructura de propiedad social. I tried zooming in, but it also doesn't give anything. Puebla. Acicintla. 6 ejidos en ese municipio. I want to see the name of all of them. Superficie total, 6 ejidos. Documentación, estadísticos. This isn't a wild goose chase, it's a wild property deed chase. Same stuff. Núcleos agrarios. Let's try to say en Puebla. Municipio. Wait, no, it's not simple. Tipo en comunidad. Search. Acción agraria. Okay, ejido. Ask ChatGPT to help you find the coordinates of a town. I have the coordinates. And I have the ejido, but it's not. Mira, núcleo de agrario. Ampliación. 1980, 1928, 1993. One, two, three, four, five. These are the 3 ejidos. These are the 6 ejidos in there. Ampliación. All right. All I've been able to confirm is that there is no public record in any of these ejidos for a dominio pleno, which is what would need to happen for that land to be private property. Based on my research, the land she's building her house on still belongs to the community. And in a best case scenario, if they've done any type of legal paperwork, they have a certificate of usage, but they don't own it. The answer is at the presidential White House. Candace, you've been very, very naughty. I would be so nervous about building on a town like that, on land that's not mine. And I saw some rumors that they had shared that the mother owned it. Oh look, I forgot about my. Let's have breakfast, okay? Let's regroup. Great news for the community, which means she hasn't outright taken the land. I think when she said, or some of you have said that she's mentioned that the land belongs to the mom, I think that's a misrepresentation as well. The land likely belongs to the community, and the mom is probably a member of the community. The mom is probably una ejidataria. That's my legal analysis on the case of this house. When they say that the land belongs to the mom, what they mean is the mom is una ejidataria. They can't buy the land from the mom's house because the mom doesn't own it. The community owns it. So when they said that the mom owns it, likely they meant the mom is una ejidataria. The only way they can buy that land is from the community, and the community has to agree, and they have to go through a legal process to release that piece of land and make it private property. It's cheesecake and jam. She made it seem as if to pay the mom of market value. Are there any videos where she references buying this land? You guys have mentioned that, she's represented that she's bought it from the mom and that she paid her a good penny for it. Where? Show me, link me. The only reference I have found so far, and I've already shown it in one of my lives, is where Fidel talked about how they were waiting to hear back on the land, and they were in the process of waiting to find a good piece that was central and that was close to school for the kids. So it made it sound as though they were in the process of buying. I'm sure she's scrubbed a lot of videos by now. Didn't he inherit it from the grandma? Link me. Spoke with my tío Humberto. He says Fidel used to be in fights all the time. I am 2 hours away in San Martin, Puebla. Right after his deportation? We want more info from your tíos and your grandma. Never seen another adult so obsessed with stuff that has nothing to do with you. Just like you right now in my life commenting about stuff that has nothing to do with you that I'm doing. Like that. Or no. You're very hypocritical. When you jump into my comment section saying stuff like that, but you're literally doing the same thing. I've never seen so many people obsessed about what I'm doing that has something to do with them. This doesn't have nothing to do with you. At all. So it's weird. It's weird. I've never seen so many people upset at what I'm doing. That has nothing to do with them. She said her mother-in-law wanted to give them the land but didn't feel right, so they gave them money and bought it. Bullshit. 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 How could she if it didn't belong to the grandma? Candace deleted over 9 videos over the past month. Check her social blade. What is that? I noticed that too. I noticed something on her playlist last night, but let me look. Social blade. What is that? Who's your favorite YouTube creator? Alright. As a recommendation of a viewer. Damn! A ver. Where do I check? What's your deleted? Page statistics? I don't have an account. I want to touch on this. I've seen a lot of people comparing Candace to Touch of Light Homestead. I didn't know who Touch of Light Homestead was. I did go check out their channel yesterday briefly. I don't see what you guys are comparing. I don't see anything that Candace is doing in Touch of Homestead instead of just building a house. But Touch of Light Homestead built their channel, from my observations, on just documenting their life. It wasn't rooted on exploiting the deportation and riding the deportation train. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I was able to, that's why nada me llamó la atención, right? She does family vlogging. They're building a, she made one video, I think, talking about like that the husband self-deported at one point, but the rest of her channel is not hooked on the deportation train. And he wasn't deported, right? I don't see her channel culturally appropriating. I don't see her channel being the face of deportation. I don't see any of that over there. I just see somebody documenting their life, binational family. But correct me if I'm wrong. I looked and there was nothing that caught my eye. I think she's very, I don't think she is what Candace is doing. The reason why I'm on Candace, she's appropriated her husband's story as her own. She's writing a deportation storyline. How many interviews has she done on this? She's exploited the deportation story. How many people, how many American
people has she interviewed on her channel to talk about how hard deportation was on them? The friend, the mom, the sister. That's what I mean by she's exploiting our trauma for her monetization. You see the difference? Touch of Home said, I didn't see any of that. And on top of it, they were lying. They were lying. That's why Candace is on my radar right now. I'm not here to tell you that people can't make content in this. Like, I'm not the content police. I am the deportation police. I believe what people are talking about is such a homes building their home on their mother-in-law's property in Pueblo. Again, the little bit that I consumed on that channel, I didn't see anything that was a red flag for what I'm doing in this series at all. I thought Candace was building a school or a shelter, and then I seen it with a house. Yeah. And I watched her video last night, reliving your experience the day you were arrived in Mexico. It was a spiritually moving. You had me crying. Now you are a different individual. Hi, Bessie. Thank you so much for watching and connecting to that video. And eventually we'll revert back to content kind of like that. No update on the police report yet. I have seen her channel and she actually is different. Yeah, again, there wasn't anything there que me llamó la atención at all. Okay, so somebody mentioned that Social Blade was showing that she had deleted a few videos from her channel. Where? I've never been on Social Blade before. A 1,000 subscribers in the last 30 days. Monthly earnings of $690 to $11,000 a month. Estimated yearly earnings of $193,000. Achievements? What am I looking at? Look at the +1 video in the green and in the red. Where? I'm not logged in. Do I need to be logged in? Under video statistics? It says I have to be logged in. No, I didn't want to be her channel on YouTube. I will say she hasn't been very active. Is it just me or she hasn't been as active as she used to be? She hasn't been very active because she's too busy watching all these fucking lives. Real show's not gonna be in the chart. There is no chart. I'm not logged in and I don't think it's gonna let me log in. I was watching Touch of Homestead Live and someone asked them if they would go live with Candace and they said no, no thank you. Yeah, let's not drag. Let's leave Touch of Homestead out of this video. Okay, I think we've mentioned what we need to but the last thing I want to do was intertwine their channel and like start putting people against each other, right? So we've established that Touch of Life Homestead. There's nothing. I don't think the channels are comparable, particularly when it comes to this series. Okay, a few of you have dropped their channel into my comments, so I went to look yesterday and I didn't see anything comparable to what we're looking at here. The fact that Candace is scrubbing her content is so telling. Yes, that part. It's just looking by facts a day. anytime I'm doing these series and I'm seeing creators backtracking on their content, me llama mucho la atención. Why are we backtracking? Why are we backtracking? El que nada debe, nada teme. We've established she's hiding things. This is a video where she said she bought a Fida's mom. Go to Pirate. Oh, thank you, Bestie. Okay, we got some receipts in. Okay, Bestie just sent in a video. I love when you guys help me with research. Okay, Bestie just emailed in a video where she talks about buying the land.
I'm in doesn't fit, but I do miss like certain fast food.
That because this feels really, really surreal, and I still can't believe that it's real. So let me show you the piece of land that we have. It'll look pretty familiar to you guys because you've seen it before in TikToks, and then I'll answer your questions about it. So the land actually starts at that blue building and it follows the corn. I know there's some missing corn. I'll explain that in a minute. There's Fidel. It follows these corn stalks, and it goes all the way down to that very last tree right there. So, yep.
Okay, that's fucking huge. Did y'all see it? She pointed. So it is not just a small piece of land to build a house on. It's the whole fucking plantation. That's crazy. Also, somebody mentioned, I know she took down the Independence video in your live last night. I found it, and then it said it was private, and then got my laptop, and it wasn't there at all. So she was watching live. Not her privating the video we were going to go watch as we were talking about it. So she's in here. Saluden. She's in here. Okay, let's finish.
It's an iPhone. It's con iPhone. So this is our land, you guys. So we took out the corn here, and we paid for the corn that we took out, but we did take this corn out because this is where the house will sit. So this is where the house will sit. Fidel was marking some stuff and wanted to look at some measurements that we have for the house right now on this piece of land, which is why we came out here. So we did get this from Fidel's mom. And we paid her above market value. We'll also let all of this corn grow so that she can still get a profit off of it. That was not included in what we paid. That's additional to her.
Okay. We just looked up public records for every ejido in that area. And there is no public record of the legal process for any pieces of land in that community to be owned by an individual or to be able to be sold privately. This means, this is my assumption, the land is still part of the ejido, and the mom possibly has a right to usage of the land. So the mom previously was using the land to crop, okay, because she probably has the rights to usage as a member of that community, como una ejidataria. Candace is telling you that they bought the land from her and they paid her more than it's worth, and she'll still be able to crop. When she says she'll still be able to crop, that tells me the mom is still in possession of these crops. I suspect the mom may have legal right to usage of the land and she let them build on it. Ojo. When you obtain a right to usage from the community, it's very specific what the right to usage is for. It was for cropping. So unless the mom went back and got another special permit so they can build on that land, she's out of compliance. And these are just my speculations and my observations. We don't have records for this. But based on what I searched, I can confirm this land is owned by the community, not privately by Fidel's mom. So the mom probably has the rights to usage. and she was using it to crop.
Yeah, so we're really excited about it. So I'm gonna flip you guys back around. Sorry, my baby is super grumpy because he wants to nap. Wanna get back in the car?
She removed 8 videos in the last 14 days. Yeah, could the site not be updated? No. For as long as they've had it, 5 years, this was 4 years ago. We searched public records, so it doesn't take 4 years for them to update public records of if a land was sold and all that shit. So she's lying. I'm curious which video she removed. Ooh, that's the guache hat. Thank you so much, bestie. Yeah. For those of you, can you email me? For those of you that are saying that she removed videos, whatever you found to show that she removed videos, feel free to email it to me and I'll show it on the screen for everybody. Right, usage for the crops that I got from the government. Right, so the mom likely has rights of usage to the land for cropping purposes. On Social Blade. She probably removed her bakery video. Let's look. I do think she has removed a lot of the videos of town events. Because I remember there were more when I first started going through her channel. Isn't there, there's a website where you can see people's old content. Yeah, there is actually. Waybackmachine.org. Why is she removing the community event videos? Because I've been spotlighting her for exploiting the community for her channel. Jimmy told you that's to demolish it. That's mean. Deleted YouTube video finder. Alright. Yeah, no. I'm sure if we dig enough, there are sites that will archive all your videos. But yeah, who knows what she deleted? But I do know that she's deleted some town videos because previously there was a lot more, and yesterday when we were sifting through them, there was barely any. And we do know that she's watching these lives. We do know that she's archiving some videos in real time as we're going to search for them. We do know that she's submitting information to the police department to avoid those records being released. So she is watching closely, which is probably why she hasn't been as active. Show the video where she does things for the community. There are none. There are none. We actually showed what she does is she throws classroom parties in the kindergarten, and she buys cheap gifts for the holidays. But there's outside of that, there's not much. Last night we went through the town Facebook page so you guys could accurately see what donations are actually needed. And when you guys say that she does so much for the schools were recently needing help renovating the classrooms. They needed paint. They needed supplies that she has ample access to through her platform donations or sponsors. So she doesn't actually help the schools. She does bare minimum donations for her brand and for her image. That's it. She gives cheap toys. She throws classroom parties, which a lot of us moms do for our own kids. That's not her going out of her way. Right? If she was really out there in the community, she probably would have been helping obtain paint for the classrooms when she just obtained paint for her house. you know, so. Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of scrubbing. There's been a lot of scrubbing. And she probably doesn't have the education to understand the legalities of the land she's building on. Can we take a minute to appreciate that when I search La Guarita 70, all my videos and thumbnails come up? Oh, Candelaria, I know you hate me right now. When you search La Guarita 70 and then you see my thumbnails and shit popping up. But the NBA. Third video. Oh yeah, we watched this the other day, yesterday, when she gave us a walkthrough of her town. She gave us a walkthrough of her town 5 years ago, and back then there was no concern for privacy. Hello from jail. Hello from prison. Donations equal money. Okay, hold on though. Like my thumbnail today though, I thought this was very, I love my thumbnail today. Like tell me this isn't very fitting. The Halloween makeup, the Dia de Muertos makeup that she put on in this right here. V, thank you so much for my cheeseman bucks and the super thanks. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here, and you're also a subscribed member, so thank you so much, bestie. Love me some cheeseman bucks. Yeah, I outdid myself with that, with the thumbnail. The NBA, I don't think it exists. I don't know, guys. I think the reason we haven't been able to find anything on the NBA is because it doesn't exist. The lunch ladies at Dominic School seem to know it. So yesterday we also went through some of her videos, and we focused heavily on her interactions with the locals and the lack thereof. Ves todo lo que necesita la escuela, pero ella misma se está tragando dinero. Yeah, and oh, socially, look at the red. Views. Subscriber. So I see the negative red in views, but how does that equal to deleted videos? Oh. April of 2026. Was that today? Did she delete some videos today? Candace, are you watching this real time? All right, let me share this screenshot of Social Blade that a bestie just shared with us on her deleted videos. If I read that right, it's looking like she deleted today, or did it just get updated today? I don't know, but let's look together. Okay, so this here is a screenshot of Social Blade that a bestie was researching. It shows the date, the subscribers, the views, the videos, whether she posts one video. Oh, okay, so this is how I'm reading it. Okay, so it gives you a daily mark of her stats. It shows you that on the 4th of March, she posted one video. It looks like she posts about a video a day. March 19th, 2026, she deleted one video with 58,000 views. Right? Am I reading this right? Oh, and today she deleted 7 videos that total 167,000 views. Am I reading this right, chat? Here, let me zoom in on this so y'all can see. Okay, so here's the date, 4/02, -7 videos. Candace! Get out, Candace. What the fuck? We want to see. She's archiving us. We're talking about these things. 7 videos worth 167,000 views. How peculiar. And then March 19th, she deleted one. What was I posting on March 19th? Let me go look. March 19th. I want to see what I posted on March 19th that prompted her to delete one video. Please hold. March 19th. When did the series start? Her episode of Exposing Deportation Stories dropped on... Come on, chat. March 17th. Okay, the first video that I posted, which was... So March 17th, I posted the Exposing Deportation Stories on her. And 2 days later, she deletes a video. So look, March 17th is when I dropped her episode in the series. 2 days later, she deletes a video. I wonder what video it was. And then on April 2nd, which is today, Social Blade is reporting that she deleted 7. What have we been talking about between yesterday and today? Town videos. She deleted videos of town gatherings and events because for the last 2 or so days, we've been talking about the exploitation of the town. What would she have a high number of videos in? 7 of them that she took down. Town vlogs. Yep. She was last night. One of you noticed that she archived the Independence Day vlog. It happened during the live. Okay, so today we were talking about it again, and she archived 7 of them. Candace, we see you. Interesting. Very, very interesting. She also deleted a video on March 28th. What was I posting on March 28th? Let me go look. March 28th was just over it had to be one of the lives. Have coffee with me. Could it have been PP? March 28th was about a week ago. I think we were doing the PPP fraud videos. March, when did I say she deleted it? March 28th, she deleted a video. March 24th, we were talking about PPP loans. Okay, on March 27th, we were talking about the house being built on indigenous croplands and her objection to the grammar request. This was on the 27th. On the 28th, she deleted one more video. When I requested duty files. Yes. She's deleting. She's deleting as we go. Are we going to have to start making these lives private, Candace? We were calling the gels off Friday. I'm sorry, Candelaria. It seems that maybe she did ask families if she could record their children. I think the one of the tools being stolen. Dirty deleter. Huh. I think it goes on with the mom interview. I mean... No, Q&A. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for her to delete ones we've already shown. The mom interview is still here. Living in Mexico, meet my mom. What about her land? Yeah. So I think it's a fair assumption to say that she's watching these lives as religiously as the public is, because she's got to see what's coming out. And she is actively trying to work behind the scenes to suppress some of this information. We know that because of her objection to the grammar request. We also have started to notice that she's actively privating videos while we're on live. So, yeah, okay. Interesting. My sister's first visit to our home in Mexico. Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, let me take this off so we can get back. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's interesting. It's like the Epstein files. We need the Smith files. We're trying to release the Smith files, and she doesn't want the Smith files to be released, which understandably so, because she's lied a lot. And I guess damage control. And I've said it a couple times, but Candace has the power to stop all of this by just getting on and being truthful. If I was her and I'm trying to think, okay, how the fuck can I make this stop? I'm gonna just get on here and tell you what it is, so you don't have to go wait to see it through receipts on Andy's channel. If I'm Candace, how would I handle this? What would I do to make this end so that we're not looking at daily research videos? I would just get on here and fucking tell the truth. That's what I would do. Accountability makes all of this stop. Yes, can we talk about why nobody over there is talking about how obsessed she is with this channel? Nobody is over there. Nobody has mentioned how obsessed she is in following my content and keeping up with my lives and everything that I'm doing. Now, I understand that it has to do with her, but the obsession is there. And it was like this even before I started this series. Remember, Rafa told us that her and her sister watched every single one of my lives. This was back in October. So the obsession with my content, although she doesn't want to be associated with me, is intriguing to me, because you've been following me very closely, probably since 2023, even when I wasn't even making content about her anymore. At this point, Candace, just take the interview. Just take the interview. Super creepy. I'm so upset we didn't qualify for the PPP loan yet. She got 2. That hasn't been talked about enough. And she hasn't addressed any of that. She doesn't take an accountability. She won't answer questions on it. I think there's a reason those PPP loans are public record. That's not something that she can say, I just want to keep that private. It's a public record. So if your audience wants to know, why did you get PPP loans when you're living here? I do think that's something that she should be speaking on, that she should be answering questions on for transparency. Because those were public funds, those were taxpayer dollars. And if there is a big question of, did you commit fraud? Why wouldn't you just as a creator come out and clear it up and answer questions so that you can say, no, this is actually what happened. It wasn't fraud. I had a necessity during this time, blah, 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 blah. Those are federal funds. She does owe an explanation for that to taxpayers. There's a reason why those records were made public. These are not loans that you get to keep private, unfortunately, for her. Right? And I'm sure when people pulled these loans, nobody had any idea that they would become public records. Nobody thought that people would have access to these things. So absolutely, she should be addressing the PPP loans. And saying we did it legally is not enough. Especially when she has a recorded history of lying, omitting things, manipulating things. Yeah, she owes you guys an explanation on that. She won't acknowledge that either. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's in her control to put an end to this and just answer questions to her public and give she owes accountability to this community. Absolutely. Did you see her fancy marble slab in her latest vlog? No. But I can tell you that she is not being humble on anything that has to do with that house. Everything is top-notch material. From the brand of the paint, to the fucking finishes, the countertops, the bathtubs, everything. Nothing in that house is humble. Yes, she didn't even have a legitimate business to request those loans. What business did you have during COVID? She didn't have no business. She did content. Explain to me how a content creator was suffering during COVID. In fact, it was prime time for creators during COVID. So I absolutely, if I was her, absolutely, I feel like I need to explain. And if there was nothing wrong with what I obtained, if it was in lines with guidelines, there would be no problem with me quickly addressing it. Oh, this is what happened and blah, 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 and let's move on. There's a reason she's not addressing any of this. None of it. Mind you, there are some very sensitive topics that have been touched in this series. Her children, her family, her mother, her finances. I don't expect her to handle things how I handle things, but can we all, just, if that was you, how long can you ignore the things that are being said? How can you get on here and continue your stupid material vlogs when your entire audience has questions about, wait, what the fuck? We're just going to keep business as usual, like you're not being accused for being the biggest fucking fraud on this platform in this niche and exploiting your community, lying to your audience, and you're still going to continue dropping blogs like nothing. That is very telling. Read the behavior. Read the behavior. And yes, the PPP loans were forgiven. So she didn't even pay them back. Where was that MBA during PPP loans? Where was the MBA during the stolen truck? There are a lot of things that we have factually uncovered during these series that is questionable, that she should be answering. Yeah, and if I didn't do anything wrong, I will clear my name. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be long. But there are some huge inconsistencies in her story. There are people with legitimate questions and concerns. And she's being accused of federal crimes. She's being reported to the PPP place. Like, people are reporting her on this content. Don't you think it would be important once it starts bleeding out of just the internet, where people are sending in reports to the federal government of what they believe that you did? Wouldn't you come out and clear the room and be like, yo, like, this is blah, 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 you know? Her silence is very fucking telling, in my personal opinion. The stolen PPP loan. I was working in the medical field during COVID and pregnant. I worked my ass until I gave birth. For someone like her to get a PPP loan is discouraging. Yeah. She can to have the White House on indigenous. Yeah. Look, this series has rewritten her story in a very different light. And not everyone is going to pay attention to it, and that's fine. But what we used to look at as, oh, they're forever home, this humble little family doing so much, has been completely rewritten based on the evidence that we have found through public records, fact-checking everything she said, and really it's come down to that. That house is no longer, in my eyes, it was different before this series. Like, okay, yeah, she's just building her family house. No, that is a big white house sitting on un pueblo originario. Like, there's just so many things. I look at her story in a completely different angle now that I've gone through all these receipts. But I have to give her props for the way that she has been able to paint this story for so many years, and nobody ever questioned. Nobody questioned it. It's literally built on stolen land. Yeah, I'm sure some of her followers have also asked questions, but she deletes any comments about this topic because she doesn't want to give it more air. She wants people to forget about it. And that, I think, is also not very transparent. Like, only leaving positive comments on her videos to make it seem like everybody just loves her and nothing's going on over here. That's also misleading, in my opinion. And again, she opened the door for some of this with the video she made last month. Some of the receipts she showed were just as damning. I think her response did not help her, didn't do what she thought it was going to do. I wonder why she felt the need to lie. To monetize. Because some of these things, there wasn't a need for her to lie to us about. PPP loans are specifically for companies to be able to pay off their payroll. Right. And I mean, she covered her own payroll, but again, we've already established that she wasn't an eligible employee to be paid by those loans because she didn't live in the United States. No. We've already established the PPP receipts. Those funds were used to pay herself. I encourage you to go watch the video that I made on the receipts, but we went through the application. We went through everything on the PPP. There's no way that somebody else pulled it because of the employee count on the application was only one. If her sister pulled it and was paying her, it wouldn't be under her name, and the employee count would be 2. Because even as a sole proprietor, you had to include yourself in the employee count. So I promise you, we have narrowed down the PPP. Before, it was just like, okay, this, okay, that. But once I went through the application and the public records, we definitely established she paid herself with that money. If you didn't have employees up, the PPP loans were not for you. I went to the bank and looked at the form for my business and didn't want to commit fraud, so I didn't apply for it. Yeah. Have you checked her stats? No, I haven't been keeping up with her stats. What she's lost is videos. What she's deleting is videos. I called my uncle and asked him how it works in his pueblo. Yeah, feel free, Marisol, to share with us. And is he from her town or just another small town? What if her business is under someone else's name? What if someone else owns La Guarita 70? The PPP loans wasn't under a business name. It was pulled under her name. Candace Garcia Sanchez was the business name. Her LLC is La Guarita 7, and even then, she's the registered agent. So if a PPP loan was pulled with her legal name, would it make sense that it's own? You see what I'm saying? No, I promise you that my PPP speculations are down packed. I studied that shit. We looked up, so, like, I promise you, there is no possibility of anything besides she paid herself with that money. Because she has an MBA, she has no excuse that she didn't understand the application process for PPP loans. The PPP application was very, it walked you through it. It's not hard to understand. It's not hard to understand the PPP application. I'm wondering because it said Mel. That also threw me off. But again, if there was another person on the application, the employee count would have been 2, not 1. I gotta go ship, y'all. Ugh. Hello, Mike. Of course, the tax dollars didn't pay for the whole thing. That house wasn't built with $11,000, but it built at least the foundation. Okay. Let me. Oh, Marisol, did she drop a comment? When will we get the police report? Hopefully by next week. Hopefully by next week. As a self-employed contractor, she's eligible for PPP loans if she's paying taxes. We already went through this. She's eligible for a PPP loan if she's living inside the U.S. PPP loans were not for U.S. citizens that live abroad, even if they pay taxes. Okay, the employees covered by the PPP loans had to have primary residence inside the United States. Being a taxpayer doesn't automatically entitle you to those loans. Otherwise, everybody would have gotten them. They were not meant for citizens living abroad. The point of those loans was to help small businesses inside the U.S. remain open during COVID. So how could you logically tell me that just because she pays taxes, she could get the loans? That makes no sense. Read the application, study it, and circle back. And that's what everybody was trying to say in the beginning. Well, she's eligible because she pays taxes. That has nothing to do with it. You have an obligation to pay taxes regardless. That doesn't mean she was eligible. We went through the eligibility questions. The fact she didn't live inside the U.S. does not make her eligible to receive those PPP loans because she paid herself. If the employee that she paid lived in the U.S., perhaps you would have some wiggle room. But the application had one employee count. And if you're a sole proprietor, you count yourself as an employee. So if she was using it to pay someone else, her employee count would have been 2, not 1. Not the Maria. Her legal name is not Maria. I just Googled it. Yes, Google harder. Go read the application. You have to study the application. The application tells you the qualifications. I invite you to look at the video that I made on this where I confirmed that it was fraud. The receipts are there. Yeah, the amount of times people have moved the goalpost has been so frustrating to me. Because then I'll prove it and I'll be like, well, what if this? Well, what if that? Well, maybe this. People just refuse to acknowledge the fact that this happened. This is a thing. How can you, like, seeing people argue factual receipts is crazy to me. And again, if I'm her and this is happening, I'll pull out my loan. Here you go. Shut the fuck up, bitch. I was eligible. Right? That easy. Wipe me out of the water. If there was anything I was going to address, it would be something like that. Not the he said, she said. So she came on here and she addressed the back and forth with Rafa, right? She came on here to address how Rafa this and screenshots this, but you're not going to get on here and then address some fraud? That's crazy. The thumbnail is hilarious. I'm getting good. All right. I want to keep this live short and sweet. We're ramping up to 2 hours and I'm going to cut it. What videos is she deleting? We don't know which ones they are, but we were able to pull up some stats from a website that tells us she deleted 7 videos today. Crazy about behavior. Okay, now I'm going to segue to something completely off topic. Let me be tactful about this. Hold on. Let me... I'm going to briefly address Jelly's videos. Very, very briefly. I've had a few of you ask me about her series. I've had a few of you ask me where I stand. And I'm really uncomfortable with this series, particularly because I just posted a picture with Jelly a week ago because I ran into her just out downtown. And, you know, we are still friends, so I said hi and posted a picture. But the timing of her series and that picture being posted, I'm concerned could co-sign some of the stuff that's being posted. And I want to be very tactful. I'm in a pickle. I'm in a pickle because I'm friends with all of them. But I don't agree with some stuff. So I'm trying to be very tactful in how I word this. I don't agree with it. Everybody has a right to speak on their experiences with people, etc. Okay. I'm uncomfortable with the amount of times my name has been dropped in that series without even just a common courtesy of, hey, I'm going to be talking about this. I'm uncomfortable with the private content of the group chat being publicly shared without just a courtesy that, hey, I'm going to be sharing this, right? I will say that there are some misrepresentations of things that are being, let me reword that. We all interpret things differently, right? How she experienced things is her experience, and everybody else has an individual experience. I just want to vouch and say that Saide is a good friend, and she's been a good friend, and Cisco's a good friend, and he's been a good friend, and they are my good dear friends in real life. So I haven't wanted to pipe in because it's been uncomfortable trying to be a neutral party, but there are some things that have been said in the course of the last couple of days, including a live last night, that I'm not neutral anymore. I don't agree with Shelly. I don't agree with the way she's handling things. I haven't reached out to her privately because I feel like I'm just going to be adding to the fire, and I don't know if me reaching out to her privately would do anything besides exasperate things. So I'm not staying, how can I say this? I don't want to get too involved in it but it's hard not to when my name is being name dropped as many times as it is in that series. So naturally my audience is asking me, how do you stand on this? How do you feel about this? Whoa, right? So I'm friends. I have friendships with everybody in that group and a different level of rapport with each person in that group. There's people in there that I'm really close to. There's others that I haven't spent that much time with, but I'm cool with all of them. But I don't agree with some stuff that I'm seeing in Jelly's series. And I don't think she's given thought to how this is going to affect her friendships with the rest of us. My ability to approach her privately, to talk about some of these things. She has the right to feel how she feels, and her experiences are her unique experiences. What I don't agree with is opening a door for your resentments to be projected through your audience to somebody else. What I don't agree with is opening the door for Saide and Cisco to be shit talked on her platform. I don't agree with that. I don't like that because they're also my friends. I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable watching it happen. I'm uncomfortable with the amount of times my name has been dropped, and I'm uncomfortable with the way that she has shared private contents of her group chat without giving us at least a courtesy, even those of us that are friends with her, without giving us a courtesy or asking us if we're okay with her sharing those contents publicly. So that's my stance on it. I'm uncomfortable. I don't agree. I am cool with all of them. I will say that there were things that we had different POVs in a lot of things when all those things happened last year. It doesn't mean anyone's right, anyone's wrong, but I don't agree with the way things are being handled. And I'm sad because recently there was something that happened that I thought gave me a glimmer of hope that everybody could patch things up. And this series definitely threw that out the window. My hope was that eventually we would all recover from what happened and we could all get back on the same page. And there was something recently that happened that I was like, oh, maybe we all just need some time. But this series definitely, I think, threw all that down the trash, and that makes me sad. So, Jelly's hurting, yes, but I will also, she is, and she has a right to. I would encourage you guys as viewers to not exploit that for entertainment. And also keep in mind that substance use is intertwined with that. These are things we've had private conversations with her about. She is hurting, and she is drinking at the same time, and she is creating content at the same time. Some of you will find that entertaining, and I would discourage you guys from encouraging her to continue doing that, because in the past, these are things that have cost her friendships. Okay. So if, I think the best thing you guys could do is encourage her to handle some of that privately, not exploit it for your entertainment. I do see some hurt, and like I said, she's in her right to feel how she wants to feel. And I acknowledge that I also feel like she was treated unfairly at some points. I do. And she's had my support publicly and privately. And there's also been things that I didn't agree with and that I communicated. So I think that these are things that she should 100% be handling privately. And I think some of you guys as viewers encouraging that don't understand the implications that may have for her in the future, including my friendship with her. I questioned it after this series because there were some and again, I want to have some private conversations with her, but I think they'll just end up part of the series anyway. So I'm addressing it publicly because she addressed it publicly, and I've been dropped into that series publicly many, many times. I don't think Saide was mean to her. I don't. I think Saide has boundaries. I think Saide, we all have our way of handling things. I don't agree with the Saide bashing. I don't agree with saying she's a bad friend. I saw it happen. I was there. I saw different POVs. I don't like the Saide slander. She's a good friend. She's a good friend. There's been times Saide and I didn't see eye to eye, right? And that's okay. But I don't agree with the slander at all. I don't agree with opening the door to slander, people that you claim to care for. Cisco's also a good friend. Yeah. So my stance in this is I'm cool with all of them. I'm in an uncomfortable situation. I hope to not have to really be involved more to clear the water. But I will just say that there are some inaccurate factual things that happened. I'm not here for the slander. This is something that should have been handled privately because we're all friends in real life. Okay. We know each other in real life. We spent time in real life. We've hung out in real life, right? So it's very different when you have a TikTok beef with creators, but when we know each other in real life, it's different. It's very, very different. That's why I don't agree with the way this is being handled when we know each other. We could have private conversations. We can express things. We can, and I think maybe some of that has been blurred with the content creating and the friendships. I do not co-sign that series. I don't, and I think it's unhealthy. And I watched her live last night where she was intoxicated late at 2 a.m. and was talking a lot of shit. I don't know if she remembers it, but that's when I was like, this is not cool. This is not okay. It's kind of, she did similar things earlier last year, and some of us told her like these things are not okay. So I don't know if that answers your questions. I don't really want to, again, be too much into it and criticize. They're all my friends. I have publicly supported Jelly. but also I can disagree with the way that she's handling certain things. And I do think that she what her series is not healthy, and it's combined with a lot of alcohol. I haven't spent much one-on-one time with Jelly. My friendship with her has been really limited to the group activities. We've had some private conversations and stuff like that. I haven't, I don't have that much rapport with her. So I think you guys would do her well in encouraging her to have some private conversations with the people that she's, frustrated with, if it is siding. And I will just say that being part of that group, we were definitely challenged as new friends with a lot of traumatic things early on. It was a lot of trauma in one circle. The Olga situation really took a toll on everybody. And I think we did the best that we could, Maybe there was some that did more, some that did less, but we were a group of new friends dealing with, traumatic events. So, yeah, I hope that covers and the group is done. Well, we don't hang out as a group anymore, but we all individually we still stay connected. Like some of us still hang out, but we don't create content on it anymore. There's members in the group that have hung out privately, and I would stay in touch with them. I have friendships, but I took them off my content. I no longer do group content with them, no, because I think that was also a part of the problem where I generally do want friendships with them. And so I saw with what happened last year that building friendships at the base of content was not healthy. And if I wanted to preserve those friendships, I needed to do that privately, which is why you haven't seen me post content with them anymore. But I am in contact with them. We are still friends. Some of us still hang out. We don't do it as a group anymore, and we don't do the content. And there was recent talks, or maybe we could get back together. But I think the series definitely, at least not with Jelly, and that sucks. Part of the reason why I hadn't wanted to get together is because I didn't want people to be like, well, where's this person? Well, where's that person? And having to, explain, well, this person is mad at this person, and that person said this. It was just drama. So we all decided just to kind of focus on ourselves. I'm actually not entirely sure what prompted the series, if I'm being honest. But yeah, so it's just that I'm in an uncomfortable pickle being in the middle where they're all my friends. But I will publicly vouch and just want to say that I don't think it's fair to label people as bad friends or bad people off of what happened during that very traumatic time. We all handle things differently. We've had different views. And that's all. That's all. It was a fun group, but as you can see, it was so much drama that even a year later, we're still trying to pick up the pieces, right? So it definitely made me question individually as oh man, collabs always just seem to be drama. That's why I stopped creating content, when I hang out or when I talk to them or anything like that, because I really I did have an interest in creating genuine friendships, and I don't think that can be done on platforms. The same way that I don't share my relationship, the same way that I don't talk about my family on here or my kids. I separate private life, content life, right? So yes, we did initially get together because of content. We split up because of content, and then we all had to make a choice of, do we want to stay friends? Do we want to continue investing, this and that? And we've all handled it differently. So yeah, I hope that answers it. I don't really want to talk much more about it, and I hope that it doesn't blow up more than it needs to. And yeah, anything else? I think that's a good segue. 400 in here, only 150 likes. Yeah, don't forget to like the live on the way out. kind of glad I was able to take a breather. Yeah, so let me look. I gotta go ship. I need to go ship some cups. I gotta go run some errands, but I'll be back later. Okay? I want desktop calendar. It's on my Amazon storefront. You said your piece and you were responsible for myself and just leave it like that. Yeah. But I will, I just, because these are my friends as well, I feel the need to kind of like referee a little bit, right? Like, hold on, guys, hold on. That's why it's in an uncomfortable place, because they're all my friends. And I do think some things are not what were interpreted, right? So that's why I've just been kind of like, I don't want to get in the middle of this. People keep asking me where I stand. And again, because I just posted a picture with Jelly last week, I don't know if that could be misinterpreted into, oh yeah, Annie and Jelly are like, fuck everybody, you know? So I just want to make it clear. I'm friends with all of them. I'm cool with all of them. I have a different level of rapport with all of them. I have different levels of trust, friendship, connections, all of that with all of them. So I do kind of feel like a need to be like, hold on, guys, like, let me referee, let me like, hold on. That's, you know, I feel a desire to do that, to kind of referee before this turns ugly or before people are getting hate. And I just think it's unfortunate that we're here, because there are things that should have been handled privately. Again, it's very different when you know each other in person, right? Why are we coming to platforms when we know each other in person? It's very different than these little TikTok reads, this Candace series, Carlos series. Like, we know each other in person, right? We've spent time with each other. We've hung out. We've celebrated birthdays together. We've gone to dinners. We've met each other's kids. We are friends in real life. We know each other in real life. That's why I feel sad that this is being chopped up online and there's viewers are being split here and there when we're all part of the same community. And I personally don't agree with the, she's a bad friend, she's doing it. I've seen some of you compare Saida to Candace, okay, in her comment section. I don't like that. So I hope I don't need to come out swinging for anybody. I do want to be neutral, but I can't be neutral because I do disagree with certain things that are happening. Okay, I think you can be friends and disagree. You can be friends and hold people accountable. You can be neutral and still hold people accountable. But no, I don't think I can call myself neutral because I don't agree with some things and I'm leaning to a certain side, right? Won't say which one. But there are things that I disagree with, and I don't want to come out and I don't want to be put in a position where I have to referee, is what I'm saying. You know, I don't want to referee. So, but I also do think that we're all entitled to speak on our personal experiences. You have every right. You have every right to feel. What I don't agree with is just, we were all friends at some point. So I like to think there's a level of something that should remain, right? It's okay to disagree. Yeah. Saide, I in my personal experience, Saida has been a good friend to me. And I think Saida has had always good intentions, but Saida is also, when she disagrees, right? And she's going to tell you she disagrees, and I like that about her. There's been times where her and I didn't agree, especially during all that fiasco too. You know, we didn't always agree. Friends don't have to always agree. Friends can, you know, malentendidos. I think all this comes down to communication. Miscommunication, misinterpretations, all of that. So I just want to personally vouch and say that everybody in that group that I have personal experiences with, at least those four current day, the PV group, I think they're good friends. I think they're good people. I think they have good intentions. I think there was just a lot of misunderstandings. And personally for me, you know, I'm just here doing my research. And hopefully we can, hablando sentiendo la gente, yeah. Hopefully some of this stuff can be worked out privately. And I would encourage you guys to encourage her as well. You know, I think that, again, it's different when, you know, when you're friends in real life. So, and not to blast any, I mean, these are things that she's also been very open about, but there is a lot of alcohol consumption in the middle of this, okay, and that I don't think is a good mix. And so I do think that viewers could easily exploit that for their entertainment, okay? Jelly drinks too much, period. Okay, and when Jelly drinks and gets on live, it's not a good mix. We've all approached her privately about it. She knows how I feel about it. And those are the moments where I feel like this is not healthy. This goes far beyond just content and creating a series, and this could be hurtful to both sides. Okay, so I wouldn't encourage that, and I hope that she can come across a good support system in her community. And I will just say, in my personal opinion, that behavior is what's hurt some of her friendships within the group. So, yeah, I mean, we've all had, I've had friends, boyfriends. It takes a toll on things. So, that's a disaster for miscommunications. That alone. Miscommunications, misrepresentations, all of that. And I think that has had a large part here. So, yeah. Again, uncomfortable topic to touch. I'm uncomfortable with that series. But also don't want to be like, oh, don't do this, right? I would never try to tell anybody what they can and can't make content on. But I wouldn't encourage it. I don't want to encourage it. I don't want to, or tell you guys to encourage it, because I don't think it's healthy for either party. Yeah. Yeah. Enough. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. It was something I didn't want to touch, but I also just feel a need to, So I want to wrap up now. I will be back today. I'll be back today. Good evening. Let me go ship my cups. Let me go run to my attorney's office. Let me get some lunch from my kiddos, and we'll regroup a little bit later. Yeah? Yes. Okay, besties. I'm out. I'm going to end YouTube first.